Alright, welcome back to part 2 of the Planishing Hammer build. Okay, so let's pick up where we left off at. What I've done here, I added one more handle here, and I'll show you here in a minute. It does make it nicer to be able to grab on two things. Down here, I cut these free and moved them out to the end, and I made these. We're getting ready to weld those on. It gives me a little more stability, and I just kind of like the wheel out a little bit more. So if you look, that's going to be a lot nicer. So this is one good thing about not doing things just too quick. You always can think, once you step away from it for a little while, you know what I mean, and you just come up with new ideas as it's going. So plus I've been a little sick here these past couple days. I don't know what I got. Flu, COVID, who knows. They got me on a Z-Pack. Today is like day, I think two or three on the Z-Pack. Let me show you this thing here. I'm not gonna move it or nothing, but so it just makes it way better to handle. You know what I mean? So, and what I'm gonna do inside here after it's powder coated, we're gonna line it with that edge molding. We'll put our split like in the back, and then we'll line that whole thing with that edge molding, just so it's easier on your hands when you pick up on it, on your fingers. All right, I did also get my piece of aluminum for the air hammer thing we have to make. We may start machining it here in a few. We'll see how much time we have, but let me get the welder plugged up. We'll get them pieces tacked on, and then we'll figure out if we'll probably start machining that piece.
I'm a trendsetter. Okay, let go. Hey, okay, I know I'm here to stay. Counting on my wins, so I can't play it safe. Try to go against us, get you out the way.
Okay. So I got that. I had it on about 152 is where it worked the best. Okay. I'm just creating little tacks. I should have cut my fan off like a dummy. It's blowing my gas. Okay, that's probably good on this side. Let me get the other side tacked on real quick. Yeah, that wasn't that fan. That was the fan on that welder. I had to move the welder down. Still catching a little breeze from it, but we got her tacked on there. Okay. Let me show you what it looks like. You got that one on, you got that one on. See how much better that looks? If the wheels are out wider, just a little more stance, you know? Yeah, I like that so much better. Alright, let's go ahead and do what I said. I was actually thinking we may do this later on as this build goes on, but I might make a piece of sheet metal to kind of go out across the front of that thing and put some little bead rolls in it, since we got a bead roller now. Maybe even a couple dimple dies. We'll see. Let me get set up in the lathe. I think we're going to start making that piece real quick, because I kind of want to get it in here. I kind of want to make this, you know, that mount where it's going to go, make that piece down there, how it's going to work, and get it all mocked up, as we always do. But I want to just kind of make all them and just have everything made, because welding the rest of the stuff's not going to take long. And then cleaning it up, you know what I mean? Clean it all up and get it ready for powder. So, all right, let me get set up over there. All right, first things first, I wanted to face both sides of that so we know that they're both flat. Let me decide where and what I want to do here. I'll bring you guys back shortly so I know how far, because I do know, hang on a second. All right, so we don't want to go no deeper than this. We want to make the inside just like this. All the measurements, where the thread's at, the whole 9 yards. What happens beyond that is just going to be for mounting, because that thing's only going to be, like if we say that's the front of that there, we'll go right off of the front of this thing. That's going to be, the rest of that's just going to be where we mount. So we'll do something to it, make it look cool, whatever we're going to do to it. I am going to make the inside first, then we'll turn the outside down and make it whatever we're going to make it. So I guess what we'll do is, I'll go ahead and take a measurement and make our first hole. I think I'm going to try to do it with a we'll see how big of a thing I can put in that. No, I think I can put my 5C collet in that, in my chuck here, and then we'll, yeah, I think I got a thing for that. Let me try to find that, and then we can mount a end mill. We could put an end mill in that, and because it's flat at the back, I want it to be flat like it is inside there. I don't have, the drill bit won't make it like that, and then we'll take a boring bar and do the rest. Actually, that's almost perfect. Yeah, that one's perfect. So if we use that one, let me see what I got here. Give me 1 second. All right, guys, let me give you an update here. I started out, it was that long. I goofed up on the measurements inside because I don't own a bore dial bore indicator, and I was just going off of my my gauges. So anyhow, long story short, I goofed up. So I thought about it and said, you know what? It's still going to be okay if I can save this. I don't want to waste. I got another piece I could do, but man, I got a long time in this. I mean, I bet I got a couple, 2-3 hours in this right now, and we ain't even touched the outside yet. But anyways, I think I saved it. It is about 1 inch longer than this one. We can still deal with that. Let me show you what I got going on here. The threads are in it. It's pretty much mimicking that piece I just had, the old piece, this piece, the internals of it. I almost messed up the back wall there, but come to find out, it doesn't even do anything. It's just made like that. So I still ended up getting something close to that in there, because I'm not sure if that's what's needed for how the operation of it, you know, how much of a chamber it is for the air to make it work, beats per minute. I don't know that yet, but it's close. But anyways, I did get some threads in it. They're not the tightest, they're not the loosest. They're probably almost to about where you'd want them. And it stops about right there. Okay, now we need to figure out how I'm going to do this outside real quick. Take it to the mill, do a flat in it, drill our hole and tap it for the fitting, so we can test this before I can go yeehaw and clap my hands and jump around. So I'm going to machine this down just a little bit, not a whole lot. I'm going to kind of round the end back here, so it's not just you know, put a little chamfer in it and round it a little bit. I might throw a couple little lines in it for a little quick design. I'm going to take it over to the thing and kind of see where the mounts are going to be at first before I go doing that, because I think one's definitely going to be on this part, and then I may have to make, I got to see how my, hang on 1 second. Okay, so depending on if we use this one, I guess it ain't going to matter, because no matter what, I think the mounting of it's right here. So I don't know where I put my other one at. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, so either way, whether I use this one or this one, here's where we're probably going to have to mount. So I'm going to pull this out, take it over to the thing real quick, and see kind of how it's going to all go. Okay, so you know what?
What?
If I put, well, yeah, I'm going to have to figure that out, because one of the clamps is definitely going to go here. If I put this in the center and put one clamp here and one clamp there, they don't have to be perfectly top to bottom on this thing, as long as we make them clamp here and here. That may be how we'll do it, and bring it out something like that. I think it's 6 inches from the edge to this outer edge. So from the edge to the center is probably 5, and then that'll be center there. Yeah, we can do it like that. Instead of, you know, to the top, I can bring it down, split the differences, you know what I mean? And then we'll clamp here and here, but out here, however we make it. Yeah, so let me machine this down just a little bit. I'm not gonna go much. There's no need for it really. Just to clean it up, get the edges knocked down. And like I said, if we're gonna do that, I'll leave a space here and up here for where we clamp at. And I may just put like 3 lines in the middle, just for a look, you know what I mean, that's all. So let me measure that up and see how it's gonna be and where we're gonna put our fitting at actually. And we'll go from there, because I think the fitting is gonna be right around here somewhere. I need to see where the end of the chamber is, and then I can figure where that's going to be at. So let me get some measurements, and I'll bring you guys back. Sorry if I blew that mic. All right. Here's what we got. Probably marred that. Nope. It's gonna clamp in them two areas. Check that out. Here's the inside. Looking good. Now it's just fingers crossed that this works, because that's pretty cool. If not, I'm going to use it as a weight for the vinyl over there. I don't know what to do with it. It looks too cool to get rid of. All right, let me get this set up in the mill, and we're going to have to mill out our flat area so we can drill the hole and tap it for the fitting. So give me a few. All right, guys, I got it in the divider head. I found center, front to rear, with our wobble thing. But that's going to be for later for drilling. I just wanted to get that out of the way. We're going to go ahead and we're going to stay inside this one. Where'd it go? I keep losing that thing. Here it is. So if you look, that's going to be like inside that area. That's how I made all that happen. And then our clamp will go here and on the back one, like we said. At least that's the plan. So, all right, let me let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and touch off right there. All right, let's take off. Let's try 100. Let's try 200. That should be all right. Oh yeah. Let's go 300. So we'll take it to 5. And this is aluminum, so there should be nothing cutting hard about this. I should have put one more bigger. We'll clean all that. All right, 3 more, which will put us at 8. I'm just going to take that down until we're flat with those inner lines. Let's go 3 more. Okay, right there, I think it is. So now let me go in a little bit. Well, let's do this. Let me go back into here. Take that to the edge. So I know where it's at. Yeah, so I'm gonna take, so I'm gonna call that a touch off to that line. So let's go ahead and go another 200 now that we're to that point. Let's go to 5. I'll show you what I'm doing once I get to that. I can probably go a little bit more. Try 700 there, so I can get right up to the edge of this line. 720, not yet. 750. I'm going a little at a time. I just want to get right up next to it. So 10 thousandths at a time. Ain't there yet. Almost. Ooh, real close. Let's go. Man, I am right there. Let me take this down another 100 too, so I can kind of see better. Right there. Take that to 9. Man, I'm just right almost to it. Not yet. Man, are we there? A little bit, tiny bit more. 25 thousandths. Not quite. Almost, but not quite. I'll know it when it cleans this little edge up back here. I think it looks like it. Man, it's just sneaking up on it ever so slightly. Right there. Well, yeah, I can clean that with some emery now. Okay. Now we know 1.200 is against this wall. So let's go. I'm gonna take this down to 8. You'll see what I'm doing here in a second. I want to make this, let's go to a 1.0 even. I want to make this area look like it's made for it. We're about there. It's looking pretty good. Let me go. That's it. Tiny bit more. I'm going to take this will be the end right here. So let's go one pass like this and then a light pass. Actually, I'm going to take the other side too right now so we can do a light pass on all that. Oh yeah, that was it.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
That looks good. Okay, now let me take this over here. I gotta be careful. I want to do the same thing back here. We're almost right there. Woo! A little bit, tiny bit more. That might be it, guys. Yeah, that's it. Okay, the rest I'll clean. Oh yeah. And now let me take my last pass with the 100, the clean pass. Oh yeah, it looks good. Okay, put this back to 12 because we know that's where that one is. It's actually, the other way was minus, this way is plus. Okay, there we are. Okay, now let me give you a close-up here so I can show you what I was doing. Of course, I'm gonna need to clean it a little bit. Hang on. So there we go. I wanted it to the edge of this one and the edge of that one. And I wanted it nice and flat there. So when we drill this, we'll have that nice little area. And what we might have to do is, I'm gonna go ahead and take, I'll show you. Okay, what I wanna do here is get a base big enough, I'll mic it. So when we screw that down, there's a round area there. So I'm gonna mic this, see where we're at, change the bit, and put our round part there, where that's gonna go. And then we'll get to the center, drill it, and tap it. So let me mic it real quick. All right, guys. Man, something I forgot to do.
Always forget that.
Let's find our, better do that now. So we're at 0, front to back, left to right. Let me find out where we got to stop. Oh, I think right there. Did it scratch it? Let me do this. This is dangerous. I barely want to touch this. We may have to put our smaller one back on and clean this. I just want 0 here. Ooh, can't tell. Let's try that. So we'll call that 0. Bring that back to 0. This one back to 0. Okay. Now we're just going to go to 0 and make our round. Let's leave them 400. Let's see where we're at. Got a little more to go. 200 left, right there. Let's check it. We got a little lip. Right there's 0. Guys, we can go a little bit more. I'm going to try to go easy as I can here. Close to 0. That's about another 50 thousandths. Still a little more. It's easier this way. 0, 50, 0, 100, 50 thousandths. Is that it? Man, it's damn close. Let's go 10 more thousandths. Let's get 10 more thousandths. Man, did I take it that far? Oh, I must have unwound to look at it. Didn't even realize. That's 200. No more. I'm trying to get it right at the where we cut that our first one. Right, touching it. There's another 50. Is that it? Let's go 10 more thousandths. So that was at 200. 250, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go. We're there. Now we might have, like I said, we might have to put our. No, it's right there. I mean, I can clean that with some paper. Actually, all right. Let me get this back out because we got to put a drill in now. All right, guys, I got our bit in, our pilot bit. We're back to 0, left to right, front to rear. Okay. Now let me figure out what bit we need and get the tapping stuff for what we got. I don't want to make that mistake again. This is all we got. But here's what it's going to look like. Now we got it one area with perfect clearance to tighten that up around it, and it should be cool. Should. Fingers crossed still. All right, let me go figure out what bit we need. Okay, guys. Quarter 18 NPT tap. You either do it with a reamer. There's a method you could do it with a reamer, but you have to go down, use a certain one. I don't have a variety of them, or a 7/16 bit. So we're going to go that route. But it's set up here. Should be about through if our calculations are correct. Yep, we're about there. Whew, I was getting worried. Did we do it right? Yep, we're there. Okay, now let's get this guy in here, get it started. Let me see if that's, yep. Now I'm gonna just pre-start this. What I do is unlock it so it's just free, and then I'll bring this wheel down as I do it. And I'm putting down pressure, and as I go back, I'm just letting off the wheel here. This way we're straight in the hole. Okay, now I'll relock this. Well, there we go. Okay, now, did I tighten it that much? Okay, now we'll take it down. Go ahead and lock everything so we can bring it this way. All right. God, I sure hope this works. I got a lot of time in this little thing. The only thing I'm really concerned about is how far that screws up into it. I'll show you guys. It has a little backing plate, and I think it has to touch up here. If so, we'll probably have to just make a shim and put it up in there, because I'm not going to fool with those threads again. Well, we can't, because now I'll be off. Like, cut them in further. But I cut them exactly where it was on the other one. Problem is, when it gets to the end of it, man, that's moving, because I don't got that very tight in there. Man, I'm probably going to have to clean it back up. Let me go find my longer 1/4 inch drive. Let's see how far we are here. Probably not far enough. No, we're getting there though. We're past halfway. Here's the longer version of that short one I showed you guys. 1/4 inch, 3/8. I love this thing. I like the short one too, but something's going on in the gears of it. They don't have the best like gearing in it. I don't know why, but at least now we'll have some leverage. That's to the bottom of it. I think we may have to go further. Maybe not. We're going to try it with this just so we know if everything works. All right, let me get our unit and I'll be right back. All right, guys, here's the thing I'm talking about. I think that has to rest on the back side of that in there. And if that's the case, we're going to be real close. I mean, I may need like maybe a 1/16 of a shim or a washer, maybe. Because there's another lip in there that it may hit it. So let's try it. Yeah, well, that might be the thing. I think I got to get to the back of it. Of course, we're leaking air too. Yeah, I think we gotta get that. Yeah, well, that's not doing that. One way to test, but I mean, it's working. If that's all we got to do is do that. Hang on a second. All right, guys, here's the old one. It needs oiled too. I just shot some and it's working better, but it is going to need something. But this one is not. At least I don't think it's against it. I can't really see in there. Yeah, it's right up against that wall, guys. So let's do this. Let me find a washer that we can get up in there. It's the size of this back. See if we can get this bad boy to work. Like right on this part here. That's where it needs to hit at, right there. Like flat against it. So there's a wall in there it's got to hit. So let me and then I think what that does is it seals against that, and then the air gets into this little hole, and that's what's making this hammer inside work. Our oil got in there a little bit. All right, let me go try to find something. Ready? Let me show you what's going on here. So I got this other piece, and the only difference, where am I on this? The only difference, the very, hopefully you guys can see that, the very bottom inside there's another hole. There's a little depth to that hole. So this didn't have that. It was kind of just beveled a little bit. So I took my bit. Now the only thing is we need to figure out, and I kept my 2 washers in there so it would tighten up right against it. Let's see, now I got my lip in there. But I don't know if I need to go more. I'm gonna measure that with the gauge and see where I'm at and see where that one's at. Because I think that area means something for like a chamber, for that to go in this area here to make all that work. Or actually, the air will go through that little hole, and then it'll all work inside that back chamber in here after it's sealed up. So what I'll do is I'm going to make a spacer that'll fit down inside there, this little back wall here, and so we don't have to stick 2 washers in it, and it'll be flat. So when we tighten that up, it'll seal nicely. So I'm going to measure this to see what that distance is in that one, just to make sure we got all that right. But guys, it's working. That's going to be so cool. I mean, look at that. That's going to be pretty badass. So let me do that real quick and I'll bring you guys back. Guys, I probably could have stopped a long time ago, but I went ahead and did some more of the threads. Actually, everything's a lot better now, but this thing has to be on there for it to work correctly, because all it's doing is leaking air out of the front. So I was doing it, and I put it against my chest there, and it started working great. So now look, that was me. And I don't know if I made a thing for it here. Now it might be too thick because of, let's try it with the new stuff. And I got it to where it recesses down in the other part too. It may just be too thick. But the problem is it's going to be hard to put it in the lathe now. Maybe I would have put it in something else and shave it down, but let's see what it does. Yeah, see, now I'm against it. We're way too high now, I think. No, it definitely needs some oil though. And this to be tight. Well, we might be all right. And I'm leaking up here. We need to get it all tightened up, oiled, because this keeps coming apart. I think we'll be all right. Yeah, see, it just keeps coming apart. And this air is only, it's not full. Let me grab the other air hose where we can put full power to it. Hold on. I got that one way regulated down, which we might be doing that anyways, but we're in good shape, guys. We just got to get everything tight. It keeps coming loose, so once we get that tightened up, yeah, I can feel the power. It may even work better than it did with the other thing. Yeah, that thing's badass. See, as it loosens up, we lose power. That's going to work, guys. 1000%. I'm so happy.
Oh, so excited.
Because like I said now, and what we'll do is when we put this back together for the final time, I'll put some of the lock thread in there and we'll give her a good I got a belt that tightens that, like I'll show it to you, like a belt clamp. And we'll give it a real good tightening, and that's it. And hold on, let's face you this way. Okay, so now here's what we got. One bad thing. We'll probably put it like this. Well, maybe like that, and put our air hose straight through. Yeah, we can do that. And we'll have a clamp there and a clamp here. That's gonna be cool as all, guys. I mean, look at that. That is so sweet. It really is. Well, at least if people want to do that, instead of just cutting off the handles and doing it how they've been doing it, now they know they can do it like this. There's a couple little tricks to it, which I'd be glad to answer to anybody. I actually shared them with you. There's no secrets. It's just you got to make sure that the inside dimensions are correct of the thing of the old one. You know, as far as everything in there goes. And that's it. I don't have them precise, and it still works. Like I said, I think it works better. So maybe because there's something I did with that, there's more of a chamber between that washer and the head of this now, maybe. I don't know. But I'm even thinking about, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. I'll actually try it with the washers first to make sure, but I'm actually thinking about taking this down another 1/16. I don't think we need that much. I'm gonna make some more measurements and see, but because that one fits inside the other one. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because it's like almost halfway. If you guys could see in that hole, it's like halfway in the hole. I'd like it to be in there some more. So we'll play with that, but we do know it works, and it works great. So we may not do nothing to it. We may just put, like I said, Loctite in it and be done with it. I thought I had it in there further. Maybe not. Okay. So there we go, guys. That's one bad little tool now. You'd never know it was air hammer before. Oh man. Okay, so this is done. Now we'll play with what we're going to use, or how we're going to make our clamping system up here. Once that's all together and we got it where we want it, then we can focus on the bottom one and get it lined up to where it's got to go. Because we don't want them, you know, like this, away from each other. We want them meeting each other good. So we'll get, like I said, we'll work on this first. It's late today, guys, but I'm just so excited to have this done. Because I mean, I had a ton of time in that thing. That just makes me so super happy, super happy. All right, I'll bring you guys back tomorrow when we're working on them.
One day later.
All right, guys, let me show you what I've been up to. Long process. Anyways, this is threaded. That's a sleeve. That's 3/4 all thread. We're gonna weld the nut to it and then machine it down. Let me take you over here. Okay. The way I'm planning on doing this, it's gonna go just like, well, hang on. Not like that. I'm gonna weld it to the plate, one on each side, and essentially the thread will be in the back, sleeve in the front. When we unscrew it, it'll open the gap up. You know what I mean? Same with the other one. It'll go there. These will go here, one up top, one up the bottom, like that. Unscrew, screw, tighten it. I think that'll work out great. I got a little more cleaning to do on these. That's 1/2-inch plate that I used. Okay, I'm gonna get things set up. I'm gonna try to TIG them. Hopefully it works out. I'm just gonna take my time and try to do it and see how it looks. If I have to clean them up a little bit with the grinder, so be it. But I think TIGging it will be cleaner than, you know, a MIG weld with spatter and stuff like that on it. So that's my plan anyways. Yeah, like I said, this is, I believe it was 1-inch DOM, and this stuff was so strong. I mean, it just, I had to keep sharpening bits. I had to keep changing, you know, my inserts in my tooling for the lathe. I was trying different speeds. I was going by what they recommend. Nothing would work. I was like, man, this stuff is just, you know, I don't know what that. I picked it up at Doug's, but they usually just cut it and drill. Even the drill bits, drilling the holes out, getting it to where close to being for the, you know, the 3/4 to go through it. And then I took and machined it just a little bit, like 10 or 20 thousandths on these sleeves here, just so they had a little bit of, I mean, they're just a tiny bit of, but I wanted it like that just in case. I don't want it, you know, such a tight clearance. We can't, when we tighten it, it's going to be like, you know, not wanting, the brackets not wanting to move. I'll show you when we get done. So I put a little clearance in them, so we won't be running into that issue. Okay, enough talking. I'm going to clean up a little bit over there. It's a mess from doing all this stuff. I'm literally, what you see right there is probably about 5 hours. No kidding, guys. A few hours yesterday, and it's 12, after 12:30 now. I got out here at 8. No, more than that. Almost 9 hours, guys, just in that stuff right there. Yeah, that's, you know, because I had to, thread these was a monster. Everything about these was super hard. I mean, I couldn't, even my tap wouldn't go through them good. It was just, this kept spinning in the chuck. I mean, I had it so tight in there that I had to literally re-clean the surface because it was marring it up from where I was cranking on it. And it would end up turning again. You know, correct bit everything that it requires for that, you know, the tap. So it wasn't that I had the hole too small. But anyhow, they're done. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna clean up a little bit. My water's froze out here in the restroom. I gotta try to unthaw it. It's so cold outside. It's been super cold. So I got some heaters running and things like that. They're off now because I wanted to show you guys and talk to you for a minute about this. But yeah, let me get set up here and I'll bring you back here shortly. All right, guys, real quick, let me show you. So here's what I did. I used my fireball tool, little spacer things. They got, let me try to get one out here. They're magnetic on one side. And there's different sizes in there from 1/16 to 1/4 to 1/2 to whatever. And you can build them and build them up for thickness. Same thing we used on the vise, but I put them underneath so we can kind of get an even, you know, these be kind of in the middle. And that's it. So, and then I'll clamp that down. I'll get this out of the way, and then I'll, you know, tack them on. Here's what we got. So, obviously I grinded them up. But let me show you what the TIG welding looked like before I grinded it. It's not bad, but it's not pretty enough for me. So that's why I'm grinding them. But they are okay. I think I'm going too hot in areas. I need to get my foot pedal out. I'm using my clicker still. So I probably need to do it with the foot pedal, and so I can control the voltage more. But other than that, just it takes practice, you guys. I'm never going to get it if I don't practice. So, but it's not bad. It's not bad, and it's clean. There's no spatter all over the thing. You know what I mean? So I'm going to finish cleaning this up, and then I'm going to MIG. I'm going to MIG these. I'm going to MIG those on, stick them in the lathe, clean them off, and that'll be our bolt. I'm going to do all 4 of them like that. But so that's what I'm doing. I just wanted to fill you guys in real quick. And then once we're done with that, we'll get it back over to the machine itself, to the stand, planish stand, whatever you want to call it. And then we'll set them up on here and get them all set up, level with magnets, whatever we got to do. And we'll get to weld them on, because I want that to be square and straight so we can get our, like I said, the bottom's got to be coming up. I want it to come up to center. So, but we'll figure it out. I probably got to clean this off a little better, make it more flusher. And then we'll have a, you know, nice square and flat. So, but I'll bring it back as soon as we get to that point. Give me a little bit, however long it takes. All right, guys, I've been moving around, measuring for an hour. I hope I got it right. Everything looks good on paper. Let me see, I didn't check one more other thing. 6 1/8. Hope I don't move it. It shouldn't, it's pretty. Well, according to that, this side's in further, but that could be, no. Let me try something here. I don't know what metal is 25 7/8. That's pretty close. But the thing is with that, what I just did, that's really not gonna matter, because this will be, you know what I mean? The bracket can tighten up however we want it. We're still good. I need to just hit it, tack it, see how it all looks, see how it lines up when we do the bottom thing. If we have to, we'll grind it back off and deal with it at a later time, but I think I'm gonna go with that. Seems okay there. Let's see what we got in my glove. Yeah, I was gonna do it different. I was gonna put the whole thing together, but I figured let me put one of them on there, and then we'll do it that way. All right, let's hit this bad boy here. By the way, I figured out why it was welding some days good, some days not. Hold on a second. I turned my shielding gas up. Oh man, I went over and looked at it, and it was way below. Actually, my tank was getting low, so figured that one out. So I had to run down to shout out to Thomas Gas and Chillicothe. They always take care of me and hook me up. All right, let's go get our thing, our cylinder, mount it up in this, and then we'll mount the bottom one on it and try to square it up to that. I think that's the best way. I got so much stuff up here. All right, give me a minute. Actually, I still had the bottom one on when these things turned out great, by the way, guys. I mean, they just turned out super nice. They all slide nice. You guys know about those bearing pullers? I've got to go way out. This is kind of the idea I went off of. Those are similar fashion, but they got little things on them where you put it around the race and tighten it up like that, and then you can press your bearing or however you want to do that. Okay, this one I just had just a little above. Okay, that one even feels pretty good there, but I need to square that thing up. So let me snug this top one up just a little here so we don't drop it. He already pulled it around, and I don't know what's straight and what's not. We need to figure out something here. I don't know what. Let me go up a little bit. That looks pretty good there. It really does. Okay, this one, now we can square that up. Let me get it snugged. This is a tougher than I thought, really. I mean, I'm gonna leave that just a little loose so we can move it around some. And that's pretty much on the money if we're gonna go off of that. Now we need to, you know what? I'm gonna go get these 1, 2, 3 blocks. I got some that measure out what we'll need in between both sides of that. We'll square it up to that, and then I'll get what I just did. So give me a second. Okay, once again, these are like some 1, 2, 3 blocks. These are part of that shim kit from that Fireball kit. I'll show it to you again, but let me get this in where I want it. See, now we can square up to that. Well, get up in there. There we go. All right. Whew. Let me see where this is now. Yeah, see, that squared that up pretty good. Okay, according to that, we gotta go. Pretty close there, guys. Like I said, this has us pretty close. to being square to that. I mean, the thing looks straight in it, and the clamps look straight. I don't know. What do I know? See, the problem is, you try to square up the back one, man, I'll tell you, I'm thinking about this because, yeah, well, we can get this pretty straight in here and square, and then once we put our bottom one, then we can square up to that. So, I mean, it ain't like we're going to be pulling this out on a daily basis or any of that, because it's going to be, once we tighten it up in there, it's staying in there. We ain't, unless we got to take it apart and fix it, there's no need. So once we square that up, I mean, it looks like it's right in the middle, guys. Looks like it. I'm sure there's 1,000 different ways to do this. I only know one today. Man, it's exactly what the top one is. This side needs to go up just a hair. I don't know if I want to keep messing with that. Let me see. And like I said, that I put these exactly on them brackets where, I mean, I lined them up to that back edge, but when I took them across that belt sander, maybe one side's less. So now I'm measuring off of something that's, but you look at them like this, you know, the sideway look, yeah, they are level. The thing is level. I probably need to hit this before I overthink it. Yeah, hang on. You can never measure too much, they say, or can you? This is going to drive me nuts, guys. Certain things, until I get it the way I want it in my head, which may be not right. That's really close. That's pretty good there. I can't see this one. Is it touching? No, we got a little gap there. See what I mean by that? Let me see something. And it does got to go up just a hair. Guys, I probably need to hit this thing before I mess it up. Right? Say something, you guys. I can't hear you.
Okay, I hear you.
Let's check this one more time. I'm just trying to get different areas. And that one's a tiny bit short, but we're level. And that's, I can adjust that. I can't go up with that. Yeah, we're good. Let me hit this thing. Let me hit this thing, man. I don't want these getting spatter on them. I really hope I don't get it on my, I will clean it if so. Not that I want to do that. Or do my glove. Let me just try to get, hopefully I'm not too much in your ways. Yeah, it wasn't so bad. This one's going to be tougher. Oh, we're doing it right. Oh, we're doing it right. I think we are. All right. It's on. It's on. It's on. It's on. Yeah, that looks, hold on a second. Let me get you guys, I mean, look. Is it me? It looks straight, don't it? Look at to that back cylinder. I think it's good. That's hard. That one's hard to do because this floor is off. But, I mean, the clamps, everything, we'll mess with it. Like I said, if we need to, that's a pretty nice little system though, ain't it? That's pretty cool. That worked out great. Looks like it's tough, 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 beastie. All right, see, and then I've dropped that tape 300 and something times today. Okay, so now what I'm talking about is we need to make our, you know, the thing that goes in there, and we'll just line that up to the air hammer. I gave us some room in there for our line to go through there and plug up into that. That won't be in the way of nothing. You guys really like that thing I made, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Go ahead and say it down in the comments. I'll take the pats on the shoulders. Go ahead. I'll go for it today. That's allowed today on the channel. Comment. Put your comments in. All right. Let me figure out what we're doing next. I'll bring you guys back, but that right there was a long time, guys, doing what you see right there. Whew. Man, that was the longest part of this thing so far. Jeez. Okay. I'll be back shortly. All right, guys, let me show you what I've been up to. So, and we'll make more of these, but anyways, this was, I had a round little, just piece of 2-inch steel laying in the bin over there. These came with that, it was a little bag full of bits. This was like a pointy one or something, so I cut the end off and machined it down, drilled a hole in that, and so it all fit snug, made sure it was straight in the lathe. Then I welded it, and then I radius machined it, and then it's just a flat. There's no radius to this, but it's polished up nice. It's actually a pretty nice one. It's a 2-inch, so hopefully we can at least mess around with this one. But I'm gonna make some more. So when we do them, I'll show you how I did it. But it turned out nice. Let me show you here. I mean, I think it's going to work great. I'm like pushing up nice on it. And keep in mind, we ain't got none of this stuff tight, nothing on the threads of the sealer. So it's definitely it's gonna work good. It really is. It feels, you can feel it on your hand, especially when you put some pressure on it. So when we adjust that one up with the metal in it, that's gonna do its thing. So I wanted you guys to see that. Like I said, sorry that I didn't do none of that on camera, but we will. I'm going to make the bottom one. I'm going to make more of these, some with some radiuses in them. Actually, I think the top ones stay flat, so the ones we make on the bottom with the radius is where it's going to, so we can work it like that. I believe. I'll look into it, but this is nice and flat and square, and the edge has a little bevel to it. Both of them. I made it just like the ones you see. I put a little weight to it there, a little thickness, so it can help the hammer work easier. Maybe say it like that. Anyway, I think we're on the right path here, guys. This is all working out great. So this is why I said, they take a little longer, but you can stop and think about it for a day or two, work on another project, boom, if something else comes to your mind. Oh, you know what? I'm going to try that, So that, just like this thing just came up, It went from, we was going to make a round little thing, if you remember. I don't know if I still got it over here. Yeah, it went from, we was going to make that round little puck we had, shave that completely off, which somebody could do this if you don't have the means of a lathe and all that. Cut that smooth, and there'll be a hole in there. Then just get you a round piece of aluminum, shape it with a little grinder until it fits perfect. Drill you a hole in it, set it down on there, have somebody TIG weld it on, or if you have a TIG welder, done. Screw that back on, put your threads in that new piece. Now you have an area for, you don't have to do all that, But this is good that we showed kind of both ways, of how I was going to do it and what happened. This is the possibilities of what can happen. And that's what I like to do on this channel, show you guys several different ways, maybe come up with different ideas, change stuff, show the mistakes. I've said it before. Like I said, I don't do no, behind the scenes and mess up. I'll show you guys, and if I do something off camera and mess up or something happen, you guys will know it. I always say it. I always tell you. But anyways, that thing turned out sweet. So next thing, we're gonna work on this thing here. We're gonna get this working. I'm gonna get it made. However, we hopefully come up with a decent way. We'll go ahead and pre-run our lines and stuff, hook our pedal up, and give it a little test run. I'm gonna end that video here. I wanna get this thing out to you guys. I wanna keep these videos coming. By the way, the channel is monetized now. Thank you so much to all you guys who keep on supporting the channel. I hope this thing grows into something nice where we can keep on doing this. We'll work on that. We'll get it done. We'll do a little test run with this bad boy. And then, like I said, I'm gonna get that video out to you guys. And then on the last video, we'll touch up some things, clean up our metal like we did the bead roller, take it apart, powder coat it, put it back together, and that'll be the end of it. But I think this thing's gonna be sweet, guys. Super sweet. I mean, that thing is pretty badass. Seriously, it's turning out so nice. It's exceeding my expectations right now, and we're not even close to being done with. And who knows what else will pop up? I think. Hang on. Yeah, who knows what else will pop up here, guys? I do have something in mind to make a tray for our dies and stuff. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I want to make something pretty cool. I've seen a couple things. I really didn't like where they was, but ideas brewing. We'll make something cool, and maybe we'll make a little tray on both sides there where we can keep our dies in it. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but I do want to maybe do something like that to it before it gets powder coated. And that's about it. Other than we got to pre-mount our pressure regulator with the oiler in it. Pre-mount that. And I ain't thought about it yet, or I ain't decided yet if I'm going to go in this metal, out of it, and out of the front. Probably will. Like we'll come out of that regulator, go in here, come out of the front and straight into this thing. I turn this thing to the side, but we'll turn it back to where it's facing, the wall right there. So we can just plug our tube into it, and that'll be all hidden right there. And then on the leg part, we'll probably come out, go in there. Because see, if you remember, This is one piece, solid, and so is that leg. So we can't go straight down into that. That's a plate now, you know, separating that. There's a wall in there. So we can't do that. So I'll probably go in here, do this thing, fish like a fish tape or something in there, and bring it out at the bottom of the front there and come down the leg or something. We'll figure it out. Something that looks clean, maybe even down, we'll go inside of here, come out underneath this part, and go along that wall and underneath that tube to the leg. Maybe something like that. And we'll make some cool things that'll, you know, keep the wire so it looks neat. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll 3D print something that clips around that tube that has this area for the, you know, this line to go through it. So, but we'll figure it out, make it cool. But it is turning out pretty nice. I can't wait to use it. I can't wait to use both of them. Like be able to do something in the shop where we need to use both of them. It'll come, I'm sure. We always have things coming through and some kind of projects or jobs going on. So, but cool. Let me get you guys. I'll get all this stuff set up to where I'm going to figure out what we're doing here to make this piece. I'll bring you guys back. Thanks. All right, guys. This is turning out pretty cool here. So here's what I got in my brain. Here's this brewing in my brain. All right, this is a piece of stainless here. I made a base for it. That's going to be welded around. There's going to be a hole that goes through it. This here is going to be a sleeve. That sits on here. This will be bored out to the size of this after I machine it down and get the correct, because that's what's going to hold our dies. That's going to be the rod that goes up and down. And then on the very bottom, there'll be some all thread. I made a little wheel down there to churn on. So this will go, essentially, this will go up. This is hard. There'll be a nut welded to the bottom and then a lock nut. We'll put some arms on it so we can lock it. But that'll spin up and down, and that'll move that inner piece of solid round rod I just showed you up and down. And that's what's going to hold our die up in here. There'll be a 22 millimeter hole because your lower dies are mostly 22 millimeter, which is, I can't remember what size in American. But anyways, that'll be bored out for that rod. There'll be a hole in the top of that, 22 millimeter to fit our dies. And this is what's going to control it to go up and down. I haven't decided how this is going to go on. This is obviously going to get cut down some, but I haven't decided how I'm going to meet these two. What I may end up doing is thread the end of that rod, thread this up into it, and I don't know for sure. Maybe I'll do a set screw in the side of it, because this part will never reach the top up there where that sleeve is. That to keep it all. The reason I'm doing that sleeve on the top is to keep all this snug. You know, I don't want that bar moving. I want it to be solid in there. So when we're working the hammer, this rod's not moving around down there. I want it to be solid. So that's the whole purpose of that top sleeve. I'm going to machine the clearance kind of, you know, real nice. So it's just going through it. So yeah, that's where we're at so far. I wanted to give you guys an update here. Nothing we haven't seen. I just cut a pipe. I cut that on the plasma. It's just a little plate with a hole in it. These are things, if I put all this on video, we're going to have a long video. So I'm trying to do this as we go, like I've said before, and give you updates on it. If I think there's something cool for you to see, I'll bring you back. But this is all just pretty cut and dry. Next thing I'm going to do is make that hole to fit that rod so that slides down through there. And then I'm going to drill two holes in the planishing hammer itself down through here. So that'll have a we'll go maybe a little rounder than 1 inch. So we have a little, so it's not just super snug. And the same at the bottom. It'll be right just to where it slides through it. And like I said, it'll be a nut on the bottom welded and then a jam nut below that. And I'm going to probably drill a hole in the nut and screw in we'll make some little arms or something to put in it. Kind of like just 3 little arms or something where we can tighten it. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's about it. That doesn't have to be too intricate, this thing here. Just up and down, enough where we can keep our gap closed, our clearance set there. And I had it lined up. Hang on. Not perfect, but just so you guys can see it. But think of that when that rod's in there, you know what I mean? Here goes that auto focus thing again. Anyways, you guys get the picture. But I'm going to keep banging away at this, and I'm going to try to get this all done and mount our regulator, drill the hole, run the lines through it. I'll bring you back with all that and try to make this run real quick in this video. But the video is already close to an hour now, and I ain't even done none of this shit. I ain't even put this stuff. I haven't even edited this part yet that I'm telling you guys. So I'm trying to keep it like right around an hour, and then the next one will be the last one. This stuff just taking forever. I mean, it's just, everything is just, it looks like it's simple stuff, but I mean, wow, man, you know, just, and then I decided to make that, you know what I mean? And we're going to make a lower one, and then on the lower one is going to be, and then I was going to tell you guys, I used that piece to drill a hole and weld that in there on when I made this one. But if I make another one of these, I think I'm going to machine the whole thing, the whole ripple, the whole stem, all of it out of one piece. Not that it's going to be any better, because that's welded in nice, and this is going down halfway inside there, and it's well penetrated in there before I machined it. So that thing ain't going to break. But I just want to make one totally, the whole thing, the stem and all, just to see how it turns out. But yeah, there we are, guys. I think that's going to look pretty cool. All right, let me I'm going to get this whole board out so we can get that stuff put in through the center and drill my 2 holes in the planishing hammer itself, so I can get that kind of set up on how it's going to be. And I'll bring you back to that point. All right, guys, here's where we're at. So I got all this finished. We're going to have to, I'm probably going to have to go ahead and make the lower die, just because I kind of need this to sit. I don't know, I still got to think about it some more, but anyways, here's what we got. And I'm also thinking about machining a flat on this side and make a little knob that we can, you know, just extra, you know what I mean? Just something for more stability. But when that wheel turns down there, that'll raise up and down. I don't have none of this lined up. And then, yeah, that's about it. But man, this thing right here took forever to make that, just because when you bore, boring's one of the hardest things to do other than internal threads on a lathe, because I think it is, because you got to do it. Everything's got to be more stable, so you got to lock everything down tighter and closer so you don't get too much like vibration in it. So you got to go a little bit slower. You can't take that big of cuts. I can't make that all in one full pass without it jamming up in there. So you got to go in about a quarter, half inch, make your whole size, continue all the way through, and then make one last pass, like a cleaning pass at the end of it. So, but without this, see, look. See what I mean? That's why I wanted that, because we couldn't he didn't have no DOM over there to where I could get something with a tighter clearance, but that's okay, because look, that is, I made that with maybe 2/10 of clearance in there, and it's just good. And like I said, if we do this slot in there with a little knob, that'll even make it extra but nicer. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. The machining takes forever. I mean, it just does. I mean, I could show it on camera, but wow. I mean, we would have, most of the video would be that. You know, that's why I just explained to you guys what I'd done. There's really, I mean, in the future, we'll do more of it. Like when I make this die, I'll probably do a lot more of that, because that'll probably go fairly, not quick, but decently faster. Oh, almost knocked that over. But anyhow, it's looking pretty cool, I think. And it'll serve its purpose, that's for sure. Yeah, so I think it's late in the day now, but tomorrow maybe I can try to get somehow I need to figure out, I might have to go ahead and do this, like I said, that's weld this thing to this, weld this to the base, so I can clamp it. That way I can raise this up, make it perfectly center on where it's got to go, you know, lock it all down, then make my marks in this, so I'll know where that goes. And I'm trying to think how I'm going to do that, because yeah, I can do it that way. And then I'll measure after I take this back off underneath and get my center, and then I'll make my hole through the bottom of it for our thread. So yeah, that's probably how I have to go about it. I really don't need that die yet. I can just kind of, I'd like to just, and this is another thing here. So this thing right here, let's just say I bolt that down and put it right where it's at. And it's pretty close. We just seen it when I raised it. Not now, I knocked it over a little, but anyway, you can take and unloosen this and move this head a little bit left to right, front to rear, all the way around actually, and then lock it back down. That's why I like these, the way they clamp. So if I needed to line that a little bit better, I can set that. I can actually raise this up, loosen this up, drop that down on this one, and get it where I want it, and then snug these ever so slightly, each a little at a time, and then lock it down. And that ain't gonna move. So that's another good thing about this, the way that is. So we have some adjustment here. We won't have much here this way. Up and down, yes, we'll be able to lock it, and then our adjustments and locking that down. So we have to be careful in how we do this, because I do want it to be as center and as close to these adding up as I can make it. You know what I mean? Even before adjustment. So, all right, well, I wanted to just fill you guys in on that. I think that thing's looking pretty cool, really. It's looking pretty good. I don't know what else I was going to say, something else about. Oh, we still got to run that line too. We still got to run the, I want to run that line in and mount that regulator. At least do that once this is finished, and get some kind of air hooked up to our pedal system and get this to work. I want to get this to work in this video, just so you guys can see it working. And then we'll probably end this video there and then finish up on the third video. All right, see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, let me show you where I'm at here. So I machined a knob into that. We still gotta weld all that on there, and I went ahead and made a quick, just a little radius on it, just a little quick one. I'm trying to think here, because I've still got quite a bit to do. I'm trying to think how I want to go about this, because this lower clamp has to come back off. It's a little crooked. I just realized it. And if you put a level up here, the bubble's just on that side of the back line. On top of the unit, the air hammer, I'm a little past it, so it could stand to come this part out or the top part in, which has to happen because the lower back bracket, I cleaned it out a little more than this top one. So I'm going to have to clean this top one out a little bit more, remove this bottom one, take the tacks off, and then what I'll do is I'll keep both of these front brackets off. I'll just take the air hammer, set it against it with the level. That's what I should have done in the first place. This is what I mean by a day or two goes by and you start to think, but I'll hold that on the front of it and I'll get that level. See, this is showing me that my bottom's kicked in a little. So I'll do it that way, and then I'll do it this way and get it all level in this head. Then, once I know all that's level, then I'll be able to set this where it needs to be at, put some tacks in it, get it sitting right. I want my knob to be over here on this side. So we'll get this tacked in straight. I'll put a square in there and level it, and both ways, this way in, front and side. Get it all square, tack that up. Then this has to be welded to this pipe too. And then, by then, this should be lined up a little better. And then I can focus on, once I do that, drilling my hole through there, setting the all thread. And what I'm gonna do in that, hang on one second. Okay, I know originally we said I was gonna just drill a hole in the bottom of this and tap it and screw this up into it. Well, I can't do that with a slot for that, because that's got to be perfectly turned every time there, so that ain't going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to machine another piece like this die here, probably about, I don't know, 1.5 inches thick, same roundness, but with a flat top, so when it touches the bottom of this pipe, it'll be flat to flat, and then I'll put a hole in it. I'll round this thread, kind of like we did the bottom of the bead roller, the lower adjustment, how I rounded the top of that thing. I'll round that. That way when we tighten that up, inside that puck will be a rounded dome too, and it'll rest flat against this piece here. And so when we tighten it, this will be spinning, it won't be like dragging on nothing. This won't be directly on this. So essentially that'll help that a ton. And what I'll do is I'll machine that piece a little bigger on the outside so it fits in this pipe, this lower part of this pipe, just a little snugger, like more than this one. I'll make sure it's snug, you know what I mean? What I'm probably going to have to do is clean the inside of this pipe a little bit, because there is a teeny bit of a weld in there, which is no biggie. We'll clean it out with my long belt thing, and then I can machine a piece that fits in there a little bit more snugger, so when I put that up and this is resting against it, it'll be solid. All right, sorry guys, the phone rang. I had to get that. So anyhow, there's quite a bit more to do here. I want this to be right. So I know the original plan was to get this thing running in this video and at least, you know, run something through it. The video's over an hour. It's Friday now. I have to get this video out. So I still got to edit and do all that crap. So that's going to put me another day behind there. I'm going to keep going on it. I'm going to get this video posted, and I'm going to continue to record and finish this into the next video. It's the way I have to do it, guys. Sorry about that, but at least you guys are getting content. I was trying to see if that's starting to surface rust there. It better not. Thought I got all that crap out of here. No, it ain't. Anyhow, we got a lot done. This stuff takes time. The machining of this, making this little piece, all this stuff, I mean, that's going to be cool, but it all takes time, you know what I mean? That fits nice. That's a cool little, I mean, I didn't have to, if you think about it, we ain't bought nothing here. You know, I just made all that. So like I said, it's got a little dome on that one. I just wanted to do that on this one so when we run it, I can actually see if it's what it's doing. You know, how it's working with the dome on there. It's just a slight dome. But we'll make more of these. We'll make some flat ones. We'll make some more radius. We'll make some bigger ones, smaller ones. We'll do that. And I'll probably make a video, just a small video, just on that for certain things. Dies for this. I want to make a couple of dies for the bead roller, because it just keeps you learning more stuff with the lathe and the mill. So I like to keep myself as good on that as I can. So, but that's got a nice fit. This is all fitting nice. So like I said, I'm going right into the next video. I'll get this one edited out and I'll post it. This is cool stuff for you guys to check out. I can't wait for you guys to see this video. I'm excited about getting this thing done. Everything's working out so cool, from this thing to the, I wish I would have did all that. You think too long, you know what I mean? So if I would have just thought to take both of these off, you know, make this one level, tack it on, stick my unit in there, put the level against it, level it that way and that way, while I'm kind of got the bottom one just, you know, this one against it, it would have been better than the way I did it. So you think about it after, you know what I mean? You're sitting down, you're in bed, you're thinking, damn, I should have did it that way. You know, that's probably would have been better. Well, here we are. But one good thing is I didn't fully weld it. And that's why I just run little tacks at first, you know, so we can just buzz those off. And I'll probably just buzz off these two on this side and the lower one here, so I can just tap that one up, this side up a little bit, because it's just down like this on this side. So I'll tap it up, I'll grind this out, you know, up top here, so that's fitting level, and then we'll know. Then these really kind of don't matter where they're at. It's these back ones. You want them to be flat and true, because these, when they tighten, they're going to tighten against it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we want to do nothing to those. Just this top one here. So, all right, guys, thank you so much again for everything. I don't know if I said this or not yet, but the channel's monetized finally. It's still a long road. I mean, but you guys are doing great, man. Everybody that's I want to say something real quick, guys. A lot of these channels out here that are going already and that are huge, they always shout out to my my patrons and blah, 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 all the people that put money into their channel. Well, you know what? I want to shout out to all you guys, because without every single one of you guys, it doesn't matter if you're giving the channel a little bit of money or donating or whatever. If it wasn't for you guys watching, subscribing, hitting the likes, whatever that you guys are doing for the channel, this wouldn't be anyways. So shout out to all you guys, not just, I don't have any people on my channel that's giving me money. And from this point on, I'll never be biased to if somebody buys, you know, donates to the channel, or if it's just one of my viewers. You guys are all my viewers, you know, so I do this for you guys all, not just, hey, shout out to John for giving me 50 bucks, you know what I mean? I'll do that, you know, I'll make it to where you guys are noticed for helping the channel, but everybody means something here, because without every one of you guys, this channel is nothing. So just wanted to say that. But thank you so much again, guys. I'm going to keep telling you thank you forever too. So if you don't like it, this is probably not the channel for you. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm going to say this until there is no more of this channel. I will do it forever. So thank you so much. All right, I'm going to get this finished up. I can't wait for you guys to see this. Thanks again, guys.